In the 7 years since the Long Island Bridge was abruptly closed, then demolished, cutting off access to key addiction treatment services, the fallout has spilled over into many places, but none more than the intersection of Mass Avenue and Melnia Cass Boulevard. The area known locally as Mass and Cass has become synonymous with homelessness and addiction, both of which have only intensified in the pandemic. Earlier this month, the local Pop Warner football team that practiced nearby had to merge with another team because their home field was constantly littered with needles and people regularly overdosed while the kids were playing. Mass and Cass has become a central issue in the Boston mayoral campaign as well. And earlier this week, Governor Charlie Baker referred to it as a humanitarian crisis. But while everyone agrees it's a serious problem, there isn't a lot of agreement about a solution. Former Mayor Marty Walsh, who originally ordered the Long Island Bridge closure, wanted to rebuild on the island, but he got pushback from the mayor of Quincy, where the route from the mainland to Long Island begins. Now Boston's acting mayor Kim Janey, saying we need a regional solution, is pursuing another approach, which is angering another local mayor, using rooms at a hotel in Revere as a transitional homeless center. But as Mayor Brian Arrigo made clear yesterday, he is not on board. He joins me along with Somerville Mayor Joseph Curtatone, who is not running for re-election this November. By the way, he'll become the president of the Northeast Clean Energy Council. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks for having me.
Mayor Arrigo, you don't like the plan to move homeless people from Boston into 30 rooms at the Quality Inn in Revere. Why?
Well, 30 beds isn't a plan. 30 beds is a Band-Aid on a situation, a crisis in the city of Boston that needs real leadership and real support. So at the end of the day, I'm not looking to pick a fight. I'm trying to stand up for my city. What I expect when people operate with my city is that they operate with a level of transparency and direct communication. That's not what we had with the city of Boston, unfortunately, with this endeavor. But now that I'm part of this, I hope to see that there is a real regional solution. And if I'm going to be part of a solution, I need to know what role our city can play in that, and it has to be a true regional solution, bringing people from a 30-mile radius around the area to the table, and it has to be folks that are institutional, folks that are in housing, in recovery services, our business leaders. We've done this work. Joe and I have done this work of collaborating regionally and doing the work to bring people together. Shipping 30 people into another city is not a plan. It's not a solution. And I look forward to a real solution and getting in the weeds. Mayor Arrigo, and creating a real solution.
I want to be clear here, though. What it sounds like, I've read virtually everything you've said about this, is you want to be sure that Revere is not the only partner. If this is a regional plan, it includes other communities, other leaders. That is what you're saying, is it not?
Exactly. Okay. And like I said, we've done this work, and I've reached out to our folks that we collaborate with, the North Suffolk Mental Health Association, who's done a tremendous job with substance use in the city of Revere. And they laid out exactly what needs to happen. There needs to be leaders from the 30-mile radius all coming together, everyone from law enforcement, state agencies, the State Bureau of Substance Use, Substance Addiction Services, healthcare agencies. Everybody needs to come to the table. This is an all hands on deck situation.
Joe Curtatone, you're in that 30-mile radius. Is a regional plan needed, or should Boston be going it alone?
No, we need to all be doing this together. And I'm not, first I chair the Metropolitan Mayors Coalition, which is the 15 cities in the inner core of Boston, including Boston, and Mayor Arrigo's on that. And we work collaboratively together. And I do want to say, hey, I support Mayor Janey in trying to do something desperate because we're on our own to keep people healthy, safe, alive. I support Mayor Arrigo because he wants to make sure the people in this community, he has a responsibility that we all do for their health and well-being, and make sure he can align the support services. But this is what happens when the state has abdicated that responsibility, Jim. And I want to be clear. I was really enthusiastic. Governor Baker made this a priority of his and said, this is the issue, taking on the opioid crisis. We've seen at one point more, and now it's gone back up, more than 2,000 people a year die in the Commonwealth as a result of overdose. Yet all the recommendations and some of the top ones as a result of the opioid task force have not been followed. When city leaders have to do it on our own, we're doing the best we can. We are working collaboratively. But Brian's right, Mayor Arrigo's right, and I'm not going to knock Mayor Janey. She's left on her own accord. It's not a healthy situation to be a mass and cast, but I want to make clear, putting anyone moving the problem doesn't fix the problem. The addiction
Mayor Curtatone, I want to interrupt you for a second.
These are all our residents here.
I want to interrupt you for a second. Shirley Leung from the Globe wrote a brilliant piece in the Globe, not just talking about the plight of the homeless people and all they've got to deal with, but some of the businesses there whose leaders seem to have great compassion, but also are worried about their employees, their customers, obviously their bottom line. She told us today on the radio, Mayor Curtatone, that she believes that the Governor Baker is getting involved in a regional plan. Are you saying that's not happening?
I haven't seen a regional plan, and I'd submit Brian hasn't either, Mayor Arrigo. We've been at this now for many years, and other leaders, including Mayor Walsh, taking on the opioid crisis. This is the latest iteration. And this, you mentioned, there are other variables here. There's mental health illness that results in homelessness. This is a public health crisis that's only gotten worse. It didn't just come along now. So we can't just have, like we did in COVID, every city and town do what you think is best for you. And here's some tools. We need bold, deliberate leadership and planning, not piloting. I'll use an example, whether people agree or not. Somerville was taking the lead to move forward to be the first city to have a supervised consumption site. That was one of the key recommendations at a minimum to pilot by the governor's task force. And yet, not even the piloting legislation is through. We need a holistic collection of solutions from prevention to treatment. But we are on our own to figure it out.
So, but Mayor Arrigo, you're both saying a regional solution is the solution. So why aren't you just doing it? I mean, why aren't you, if you believe, and by the way, Mayor Janey's office said to us this afternoon that in fact you had been involved in meetings. You had communicated your desire to ensure that Revere residents would be part of this. But if you have an issue with her or the transparency, as you said, why not the Arrigos and the Curtatones and the others be the initiators and say what they think the regional plan is? Mayor Arrigo first.
Okay, yeah, so I would say that
Mayor Arrigo first, please. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say that we are, right. And I've talked to Joe today. I've talked to many other mayors, Mayor Driscoll earlier today. I've talked to the governor. I've talked to the attorney general, and I think very soon you'll see that all of the people that I'm talking about and many more that need to be at the table will be. And we need to do this work. And you know, there are cases where, you know, folks want to talk about meeting and whether or not we've gotten the answers to the questions that we've been asking. Again, I go back to the fact that if I'm going to be part of the solution, and if you're going to ask me to be part of the solution, then I need to know the details and the role that I'm going to play in that. And it needs to be a solution that's real and responsible and encompasses all the work that needs to go into
Mayor
folks
Arrigo,
that are the hardest.
Mayor Arrigo, I want to stay with you for a second. You said you've spoken to Governor Baker. Mayor Curtatone said Governor Baker has promised a lot but not shown any initiative in terms of a regional collaboration on this issue. Do you have a different opinion of the governor's involvement in this, Mayor Arrigo?
So I know that the governor's been looking at how to help. I know that Attorney General Healy has been looking at how to help. And, you know, I think, unfortunately, what we see is a lack of leadership in the city of Boston. And that vacuum is playing itself out. And everyone is kind of looking at each other right now. And I think it comes down to mayors like Mayor Curtatone, myself, Mayor Driscoll, and others that are ready to roll up our sleeves and get to work. But ultimately, what we're seeing is a lack of leadership in the city.
Mayor Arrigo, you mentioned a lack of leadership in Boston. Let me read you part of a statement from Mayor Janey, and it was responding to you. Municipal leaders who say that we need to do this work as a region, but who fail to take responsibility in their own city or town may be making a good soundbite, but it does not solve the problem. What do you say back to Mayor Janey?
I'd say that 30 beds is not a solution. 30 beds is a Band-Aid. Moving a political problem in the city of Boston to another surrounding community is not a plan. It's not a solution. When I've pressed Mayor Janey for answers about what other mayors she's been working with or what other communities she's been working with, she had no answers to that. So that's not a plan. And if you can't answer simple questions like that, I don't know what to say. It leaves me wondering whether or not folks can trust what is going to be done coming out of the city of Boston.
Mayor Curtatone, we only have a minute left. The concern, and I'm sure both of you gentlemen share this, winter is coming. Everybody who's been watching that site said it's been bad since Long Island was closed, but that it's worse now than ever. Do you collectively have the ability, once we get past transparency issues, assuming Governor Baker gets involved, to come up with at least an interim solution that doesn't leave these people literally and figuratively out in the cold for the damn winter?
Yes, and let me tell you how, and I'll be quick. First, I want to say we have been on this issue leading to the best we can from a regional and coalition level, as we've described. And I want to say, I believe Kim Janey, Mayor Arrigo, the governor, we all care about this issue.
Okay.
And myself, I'm going to call on myself. We need to step up and do more, as well as the business community. This is a humanitarian crisis. Full disclosure, I've got addiction in my family, like many others. This is a health crisis. This is a disease. But if it's about moving people, we just continue to feed into the stigmatization of addiction and overdose. If we leadership is not going to be just giving us programs and money. We need a deliberate plan. We've been committed to that. I believe the governor's committed to it. However, it's been several years, and this was a top issue. Still, more than 2,000 people per year die in Massachusetts as a result of overdose, not just in the city of Boston. Our residents are on Mass and Gas as well, too, and they're probably in that hotel. And they're not going to just be there. This isn't going to get rid of the problem. I don't knock Mayor Janey for doing something desperate, because we've all been desperate. And I certainly do not criticize Mayor Arrigo saying, hey, I'm in. I can't do this. I'm going to have to respond to this my own. And I'm not set up that way. And this is not about politics. I'll be the first to step up with everyone. And we all, everyone watching, whether you're elected office now or not, we're society's response to this. If Massachusetts is truly the progressive state it holds out to be, then do something about it.
These people are depending on you, and gentlemen, I hope to take the lead. Mayor Arrigo, Mayor Curtatone, it's good to see you both. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See you, Mayor.